Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Hopefully you guys out there are having a great day. I know I am. I'm having a really awesome day. I woke up about an hour to an hour and a half later than I usually do because I went to bed about an hour. Somewhere there. It was like 2 hours later than I usually do. So, give or take, I feel great. I really do. For that, like usually when I wake up later, I feel a little soggy and groggy. But for today, I don't know. I kind of feel rejoiced. I really feel rejoiced. And if you don't know who I am, I'm a 19-year-old businessman, entrepreneur who started an e-commerce business selling beats to rappers. And I started a couple months ago, so I figured might as well document the journey. You know what I mean? And it's been really exciting. A lot of things have been happening, which is nice. I have a sales call with someone at around, I think 11:30. Yeah, it was 11:30. So right now it's like 10:50. So I'm going to do sales right after this. Hop right into sales. What I just did was just made some beats. As you can see behind me, I made some beats. I made, mixing and mastering them. And I produced a little bit for one of my custom beats that I'm making for someone. So yeah, it's keeping busy, but it's also making my skill better. The understanding of the skill producing has gotten so much more just squeezing the juice out of every little instrument that I use and understanding how to use the instruments. And instruments that I avoid that I'm like, oh, maybe it is useful. This instrument is useful, and doing experiments that don't work and do work. You know what I mean? So that to me is one of those exciting ventures, because it's not exciting. The act of producing is not exciting, but what can come out of it, obviously, is everything. Today I'm going to see a movie with my brother. So I do have something to look forward to after this, and it's a late showing. So I'll probably wake up at a similar time. Hopefully not, but I'll probably wake up at a similar time as I did today. And that'll be tricky, you know what I mean? It's just a consistency thing and not consistency, what's the right word? It's like a mental trick that I play with myself, where it's like, right now it's 10:50, but by 10:50 I would already be however many hours done, and now I'm only 3 hours done. So I'm like, it's a mental trick. If it would have said 9:51 right now, I'd be like, oh, I'm ahead of schedule. At the end of the day, I'm doing the same hours. It takes as much energy, if not today, because I have a couple phone calls, might take less energy than it usually does. So, I don't like the whole idea of going with the flow, but yeah, it's kind of like just going with the flow of who I've become lately. You know what I mean? Of who I've started to become and the habits I've started to build. Just go and follow those habits, and it'll send me in the right place. It hasn't really wronged me yet. It's been really great. It's been really, really great. And yeah, I hope to continue. Today's actually something pretty big. Today is something pretty big. Today's day 40. And I don't think it's day 40 of the podcast. It might be day 40 of the podcast. I think that was the last podcast of day 40 of the podcast. But it is day 40 of 2024. Day 40 of 2024. I am so astounded. So a bit of a backstory. When I started the year and I wrote down, it's almost like a New Year's resolution, whatever it is, the journey to have kids. I want to do that. So I was like, the journey to have kids. And I wrote down day 1, 2, 3, 4. I wrote down all the days to day 50. And I figured 50 days from now, that's a while. Then I did the math in my head. I was like, that's only February. I'll only be in the middle of February by day 50. You know what I mean? It's actually not going to make a dent in the year at all. 50 days is nothing. But it was a bit of a goal that I had, where I was like, day 50, I will be a bit different. And I'm not just a bit different. I'm completely, especially with my skill sets and the things that I'm urging to learn, things that now I know I should, my kind of like the tax of not knowing, right? The tax of not knowing all these things about business and everything like that kind of is I wouldn't say diminishing, because there's still so much I don't know about business. I'm way in the learning phase. I'm so in the learning phase right now. But yeah, so day 40, 10 days left before I like fully acknowledge the fact that like, if I can do 50 days or even 40 days, like if I can do 40 days, I could definitely do 80 because I know I have proof. I know I did that before. So that's pretty awesome. You know, like I don't mean to be like, I'm like, what's the right way to say this? It's like, that's pretty awesome. 40 days. If I'll be honest, if 40 days ago I would see myself now, I'd be like, yes. I'd be so relieved that I'm actually doing this. I'm actually getting to it. I have a schedule. I'd be so impressed. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd just be like in utter shock. You know, so I'm going to move on right now. I'm going to go into sales. Like I said, hop on a couple calls, and I'll see you guys pretty much in the middle of the day. So see you guys there. I just finished basically everything I have to do that's really difficult. It's not everything I have to do for the rest of the day, but it's everything that's difficult. So now it's pretty much editing and doing things like that, and then I'm done. And today, you know, it's not that today was a long day. It's that today I feel like I don't want to work at all. So I'm like, some days feel long, and it's like, oh boy, this is gonna be a while. Today didn't feel like that. It felt like, do we have to today? You know what I mean? It's like a little kid. It's like, come on, today we can take a break, right? And it's like, no, you can't. You can't take a break. We're still going. We're still doing it, and it's worth it. I mean, come on, dude, it's worth it. It's so worth it. It's every time I think about all these hours I'm doing and how like the little progressions I'm making, I think to myself, yeah, imagine if I wasn't doing this. Imagine if I was doing 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day. Come on. You know, I'm not expecting progressions right now. You know, real progress might not happen for a while. Then we might get 1 week of just straight progress, then 1 week of not. This is just the business that I'm going into. Literally the business that I'm going into. It's the nature of what happens. You know, I can't be someone that's going to be upset by that. You know what I mean? If that upsets me, then I'm in the wrong place. You know, if that makes sense. So yeah, so I finished. I did cold outreach. I did sales. Hopped on a call with someone who's very interested. I didn't get them right then and there. I was scared. I'm still in the valley of despair of sales. I still feel like I can't grasp it. It gets me excited, but I feel like I want more practice. You know what I mean? I want more practice on things that don't matter to me. Whereas this is my business. This is my everything. This matters to me. You know, and I'm like, with other products that I didn't make, maybe I'll be a worse salesman. That's the idea. But I don't know. I still have fear of getting rejected, fear of losing a potential client, someone that would have bought. That fear to me, someone that would have bought but now isn't because I'm selling too hard. That fear to me is terrifying. So I move forward, you know, and I pick my head up and I go, all right, get your head out of your ass, dude, and let's get this done. You know what I mean? Let's really get this done. And whatever that means for you out there, getting it done, even if that means 1 hour of work, 1 hour just going in the right direction, you know? Because I think 1 hour work a day, which, you know, doesn't get a lot done, but okay. If you're doing 1 hour of work or 1 hour of working out, right, a habit that you want to do, I think 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 minutes, literally 2 minutes is better than you just going for a long amount of time and then just quitting. It's like, who cares? You can build, once you get to a certain point, you can build up and build up and build up. And you'll get to a point where you're like, oh, wow, this was all me. And you've officially accomplished something. You've officially done it. Welcome to the group. You know, well, once you do that, you've officially conquered the system. I mean, that's important. You know, it's something real, tangible, right? It really is something real. So after this, pretty much, I'm going to be editing. I told myself to edit till I can't no more. Like, I really think that's going to be my thing. Just keep editing. Even if I don't need more shorts, get the shorts out. There are still moments in the video where I could pull shorts out of it. Just get as many shorts as I humanly possibly can. Because if I take a day off, I'll still have drafts for days. So I'm like, yeah, just keep editing. In terms of Instagram Reels and TikToks, I think I'm going to film one video because I have 2 in drafts. So I'm like, it'll be 3 for the day. And I got to make sure to post. Like, that's my biggest thing. Make sure to post. I got to keep myself accountable for that. For when I don't post, it's like I got to really kind of punish myself when I don't, because it's a habit that's really good to have. I think I gained a new follower from Instagram that was just random. I'm still gaining followers, still, tiniest traction you can have, but still better than nothing. I'm gaining things that are better than nothing, and that's enough right now for me. For me in this situation, that's great. In terms of YouTube, we're doing great, because even if I don't post shorts, I'm posting these every day. So shorts-wise, YouTube, I'm not really that. I am considering posting some other type of videos for you guys, different types of vibes where I do more of how-tos or a story, just the whole video is a story. I mark that kind of as like a 10-minute podcast. I don't know. You guys tell me, but day 40, I'm already switching up the YouTube videos. All right, so I'm going to go edit right now, film, edit, podcast, do whatever I have to do, and I'll see you guys all the way at the end of the day. All right, let's do it. I just finished everything I have to do for the rest of the day. Let's go. And I feel great, dude. I feel a bit tired, but a bit energetic. You know what I mean? I'm tired, but I did get a little lack of sleep. I got like 7 hours. And just that 1 hour between 7 and 8 hours. And also, I didn't just make this up. This actually is true, where if you have like people who sleep less than 8 hours all have a decrease in progress the next day. They all have a decrease in energy. They all have a decrease in progress. Even if you feel like you have more energy, you literally don't. I mean, look this up for yourself. I don't exactly know. But I believe it for me. For me, I feel like 7 hours. I'm like, I start to get a little bit. I don't feel it a lot. I just feel a little bit. 6, I start to feel it, where I'm like, interesting. This is not how, like, I'm awake, but I'm not like really awake. 4, I'm seeing people. By 4, I'm like drunk. I'm literally just like looking around like, woo. I start to get a little loopy, some dizzy spells. Anything below 4, I might as well not even talk to me. I'm just going, you know what I mean? You put me on 2 hours of sleep. Oh, dude, come on. It's like staying up all night. Like I become useless. But similar with 4. With 4, I'm like, I start to feel it. I like a solid 9. Solid 9 hours gets me. It'll give me a bit of a headache, But I think sleep is super important. It was never really a concern of mine because I always got good sleep and I always had the opportunity to get good sleep. Because I always woke up late. I didn't go to school when I was a kid. I was homeschooled. So I woke up late for that also. I used to wake up definitely way later than I wake up now. I woke up at like, some days would be like 11 or 12 p.m., 11 p.m., 12 a.m. Wait, no, that makes no sense. 11 a.m., 12 p.m. There you go. Imagine I woke up at 12 a.m. No, I woke up at like 11 p.m., 11 a.m. again, 11 a.m. And I was feeling like frisky, like we were going, you know what I mean? And go to bed at like 4 sometimes, like 3 or 4 a.m. or 2 a.m. Which now I just don't see really the purpose of staying up that late. I'm just like, now the sun's down. Let's go to bed. You know what I mean? The energy of the day is gone. That's it. Let's do it. Let's hop into bed. Let's get cozy. You know what I mean? You ever get cozy? You ever feel like, damn, this is nice? I've been feeling that lately when I go to bed. I'm like, this is like good. I woke up today in a complete sweat. I was just really tired. That's how I went to bed. But I woke up today with like sweat dripping from my arms. That's how I know I was sweating a lot. I'm like, my arms? Damn. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I was like, oh, God. Not a fun one. That wasn't a good sleep. But But I did pop out of bed. It was high energy. The sun did wake me up too, because I woke up and I checked the time. I think it was like 6. And I was like, nah, dude, I'm going back to bed. I went to bed at like 12. I was like, I'm not going to be on 6 hours of sleep. So I went back to bed and I see the sun. And I'm like, whoa, like minorly coming through my window, which is nice that I wake up to the sun. That's good. I am nervous to just start doing about 10 pull-ups a set. That's scary. That's terrifying. Because I know I'm going to be sore tomorrow and the day after that. And it's going to be a whole ordeal. It's going to be harder than I think. I think 10 is going to be the hardest one. But when I nail it, when I get 10, 3 days in a row, dude, the celebration is going to be unmatched. Unmatched. I'm going to flip out. I'm going to literally grab someone by the shoulders and just start shaking them. It's going to be crazy. I have a feeling that doing all that's going to be pretty absurd. And getting even, like, I feel the same way about getting a client. Like when I get my first client, especially a high ticket client. I was talking to somebody today that was willing to pay $3,000 for my services. And I'm like, if he did that, if he just went right now and paid $3,000, I'd flip out. I would flip out so hard, it would be ridiculous. But I think it's not really, it kind of just fades. After that guy goes on and I figure out what I do with the money, how I reinvest it. After that, what happens? I keep working. But when I focus on getting happy about the work itself, and I'm like, the fact that I'm doing all these hours, then I just add more hours and I keep going, keep pushing the threshold. You know what I mean? And it's not just money. It's a system. It's an ideology, right? It's a way of life. It's like Avatar, the way of water. It's the way of life. Which, by the way, highly suggested movie to rewatch. If you've seen it already or something like that, or you haven't, again, you want to watch it, but you don't want to watch it on your TV, watch it on your TV. That's a great one. The Way of Water. It taught me a lot. I remember there was the day I rewatched it, I was in a lake. And it was right after I'd seen that big fight scene. I'm in the lake, I'm breathing. I hear my own breath. I hear the water passing by, and I was like, whew. Like I said, you hear your breath. I don't know what that is with my ears. It just becomes so hollow. You hear it, everything come in and out. And you feel every bone in your body, every muscle. We're all moving and treading water. And it's kind of how I feel when I'm working. I feel like I'm breathing very hollow, and I'm like, we're going to do this. Come on, let's pull this off. You know what I mean? All right, well, that's basically like my timer, 3:44. I started at around 7:44, so I'm going to head out right now. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.